doesn't let me be. Jesus.
These guys are superheroes.
Yeah, what the fuck? These guys are crazy. We're not doing that.
Yes, we are.
Ew, why is my hair doing? What? Hmm?
Whoa, this is scary. What's Elijah's mom?
Hmm? He's fine.
Fucking scary.
He's fine.
That's insane. Okay, let's do this.
Oh, you know what I didn't check? Oh, I did. For some reason. What?
I need to fix the screen. Sorry.
What'd you do?
Kaylee, how far out is this?
Kind of far?
Can you see anything weird in the screen?
Yeah, my face.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's better.
I found deodorant.
Huh?
I don't remember if I found deodorant this week.
No, you didn't. I can smell you from here.
Oh, I did.
All right.
Oh, I still have -1 minute.
You don't. It's 12.
I know. I said I have -1 minute.
All right. It looks like our internet is not great on Facebook. So if the video looks a little weird or you're getting feedback at all, switch over to YouTube. We're on YouTube. For some reason, it just always seems to turn out better on YouTube. If you have yoga blocks or something of a similar size, grab those today. And if you have bands, grab a set of bands. If you have something that you can use that's similar to bands, grab those.
You're trying to find us on YouTube. I think it's BU. I want to say something. BU Ramos.
Go to the website. Go to bu.com and you can figure it on the website. So again, if you're having trouble with the video on Facebook, for some reason the streaming seems to be a little funny, go over to YouTube. We're live on YouTube too. So bands, blocks, see if you have them. If you don't, no problem, you can figure it out. So we're going to start seated today. So find a comfortable seat and we're just going to center first.
Starting seated.
Kaylee only likes it when we start laying on our backs. So start in a comfortable seat. Just kind of rock around. Mind your hips. Find yourself on the ground. Try to get as comfy as possible. Land on your hips. And then start thinking about getting taller and taking some of the pressure off the vertebrae. Soften the shoulders, wiggle the shoulders, soften the face and neck. And rather than thinking about getting straight spines, soften the shoulders and imagine growing taller through the crown of the head, allowing the back to have its natural curves. Pick up your hands and then just let them flop in your lap wherever they're comfortable rather than where you think they should be. Notice when you put them down, if they were face up or face down, just notice. There's no right or wrong answer. Maybe wiggle your fingers, see if you can soften some tension in your hands. And then land on your breath. Just notice what it's telling you today. Are you breathing a little more into your chest? Are you breathing nice slow breaths? Is your breathing a little tense, maybe a little tight in the torso? Just notice. And then we'll begin with simple moving and breathing. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, sweep them down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This time, inhale up and sweep down, open to the sides. Inhale, open up. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, open up, and this time sweep down with circles to the wrists, nice and slow. Reverse your circles.
I don't know which way I did my circles.
At least challenge by circles, and then make your way over to a tabletop position. Apparently circles are not Kaylee's thing. All right, so landing in your tabletop, we're going to inhale in the tabletop and exhale, send the hips backwards. Just starting to have an internal experience with your breath and your body. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Just starting to land on your hands. Feel your hands on the ground. Maybe move left or right with the weight. Just feeling your own body today. And then land on a tabletop, and we're gonna slowly lift one wrist at a time. So peel a wrist up and then place it down. Peel the other wrist up and place it down. Just starting to feel the muscles in your hands. You may need to move your hands out a little further from the shoulders. Give yourself some more space. Try to keep the stomach a little engaged so you're not just sinking down into the shoulders. Feel your hands one hand at a time. And then place your hands down and peel the index fingers up. Then peel middle fingers, ring fingers, little fingers, and then thumbs. And then bring it down to forearms. Place the forearms down nice and slow and controlled. Feel like you're trying to pull the elbows apart without letting the elbows move. Really engage. So now your shoulders and your chest should be engaged. Try to take the tension out of the neck. And we're going to just do some shoulder movements. So we're going to do little movements through the shoulder. We're going to lower the chest slowly towards the ground and then push up. So you're really trying to locate some muscles in around the shoulders, keeping the arms engaged. Very slow and controlled. This is tiny movement. If you're feeling like these muscles are very strong and this isn't that challenging, you can tuck the toes and lift and hover the knees, lower the chest, and then pull the chest up. So it's a tiny movement. Only go to where you feel the muscles engaged and in control. You're not just flopping through the joints.
My collarbone is cracked.
Lower the knees, sink the hips back a little, just take some of the pressure off the hands and arms. Reset. And then we're gonna sat back up, really engage the arms. Feel like you're pulling the elbows apart, maybe tuck the toes and lift and hover the knees. This time we're gonna take our nose about an inch further forward and then back towards the elbows. Nice and slow and with control. Inhale as you come forward, exhale as you come back. Match the breath to the movement, have an internal experience. Make sure those arms and shoulders are remaining engaged and we're not just flopping around. And then lower the knees, send the hips back, reset. Come on up to a tabletop position. Get really strong in the arms. We're going to take the left hand, place it on the right shoulder. Left elbow is going to come to the right elbow, and then we're going to lift up, push into the right arm. So moving through the shoulder. Lift up, push. Feel nice and strong in the shoulder. Find the muscles in the shoulder. Engage the stomach. If this is too challenging, if this is hard on your shoulder, you're going to make the movement really small. Just push into the arm and move back. Push into the right arm and move back. Small movements. Back down to where you feel strong. Don't just flop around in space. Switch sides. Left hand down. Right hand goes to the left shoulder. Right elbow meets left. And then pull the right elbow up. Press into the left arm and then pull it back. So this whole movement, the entire way, pulling back and pulling forward. So you're still engaged. You're not just returning to the starting point. Really lift up out of the left wrist. Pull up out of the ground. Find the muscles in the shoulder.
Oh, was I supposed to switch arms?
Bring it down the table.
I need to do
It's
my left
always a
arm.
comedy show with Gailey. Take the right hand, thread it underneath the left, place it palm up. Remember, we're going to pull the hand back towards us, little stretch for the shoulder. So move around, find maybe the point that feels like, oh, that's a nice release for you.
I still need to even out.
Try to take the tension out of the neck.
I did a lot on that one side and didn't switch.
And then back to the other side. Take the left hand through, palm up. Place the palm down and then land it. Feel like you're pulling it back. Active arms and then move and take the tension out of the neck.
So this is where if I was at home, I would just pause and catch up. But sadly, I can't pause you in real life.
And then bring it back to tabletop. If you have the band, you're going to wrap it around the arms, just above the wrists.
I think I lost my band.
Did you just say you lost your band? That's sitting right next to your neck. So engage into the band, push out. If you don't have a band, just imagine that you're pushing out. Notice how that fires up the muscles of the arms and shoulders. A little bit different. Push into the band, tuck the toes, lift and hover the knees, hold, pushing into the band. And then we're going to push into the band as we come forward just a little bit and then back. So this movement, slow and controlled, feeling your shoulders. Your shoulders are tired.
No, only my right one, because I didn't really do the left side. I was supposed to switch.
And then send the hips up and back all the way to down dog, keeping that engagement in your shoulders. Not worrying about the backs of the legs. Lift the hips up out of the ground, engage into the band. Take the tension out of the neck and turn your world upside down. And then either returning to tabletop, or if you'd like the challenge, place a bend in the knees, get strong in your base so your legs and feet are strong. And then we're going to put the weight into the left hand, pull the right hand out a little bit, and then switch.
God.
Left to right. You're not going to go far if you have the band. Press into the band.
Oh God, ow.
Use the outside muscles of your shoulders. Guess what? We found another group in your shoulder.
I'm
We
using
found
something
another
under my
handle.
shoulder blade and it's not fun.
Watch for compensation patterns. Checking on your neck.
Oh God, ow. I don't like you anymore.
And then lower the knees. Throw the band away, I'm sure. Turn the palms up in child's pose. So palms up, loosen the shoulders, relax back into child. Find your breath. And then return to down dog. This time, notice how your down dog feels a little different. Warm up the legs, warm up the position in whatever way feels good. Move it around. Find your base. Take the tension out of the neck and find your breath. Look toward the hands, bend the knees. And I told Kayla she had to do the tuck move that we were watching on YouTube earlier. So Kayla's going to bring her knees up first. Otherwise, just walk your feet to your hands or hop
They were
up
like
lightly.
not even just hopping to their hands, they were like hopping in and then pushing back out.
That's it. See? I told you could do it.
But they were in like, they were doing it from like plank. It was ridiculous.
Once you get to your forward fold, maybe find your block. Find the place where you can hang out, release tension.
Hurt my shoulder doing that.
That was amazing. Bring one foot, one heel up at a time, just working through your feet nice and slow.
They were very floaty. I think they like have magic powers. It was ridiculous. in the air forever.
And then planting your feet, bend the knees. Inhale as we rise up, all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale, arms overhead.
Ow.
Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. Find your center. Find your feet on the ground. Release the tension in the low back and shoulders and face. Soften the face. Find your breath. And then we're going to inhale, move and breathe. Inhale up, exhale, bringing our hips down. Starting to use the legs. Inhale up, bring your hips down, baby chair. And then come down to a baby chair, set up so your legs are engaged. So feel like you're pulling your feet apart. Legs are engaged. I probably should turn so you can see. Legs are engaged. Pull the feet apart. All leg engaged. Then take the tension out of the low back. Engage the stomach a little more. Find your baby chair. So don't make your competition with yourself about how low you can come down. You will regret it. We're going to be here a little bit. So bring one heel up at a time, nice and slow, trying not to move the hips. So watch the hips. See if you can just move through each leg nice and slow and controlled, finding muscles in the legs. And then maybe you can start to bring both heels up nice and slow, trying not to move the hips too much. Control, slow, strong movement with the legs. And then inhale, arms overhead, reach up tall. Exhale, prayer to heart. We're going to bring the weight onto the right leg. Left leg, right leg forward, heel down, toes up. So watching our hips. We're going to try and keep our hips nice and even. We're not going to throw them around to help us balance. We're going to pull our stomach in like we're trying to pull our hip bones together. And then we're going to lift and hover the right leg. Lift and hold. Bring your arms out. We're going to lift the heel lower. Lift and lower. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you push down, active. Inhale up. Exhale down. Lower the right heel. Then feel like you're pulling the right heel back towards you. See if you can find the back of the leg. Maybe lean the torso a little forward.
Oh, you can see my reflection in the mirror.
That's pretty cool. And then bring that in. Pedal out the feet. If you have a block, grab a block. So bring the weight onto the left leg. Bring the right foot forward. Engage the block. So bring the block out in between your hands. Press into the block nice and strong. Hold.
I'm not gonna like this.
Now send your shoulders forward. Engage, shoulders engaged, stomach engaged, lift the heel. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Trying not to move the upper body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So push those shoulders out. Keep them engaged. Notice how this feels different. If you don't have a block, just imagine you're engaging the block. Push your shoulders forward. Bring it down. Pedal out the feet. Now you're going to hold your block. Set up your base. Weight onto the right foot. Left foot forward. Watch the hips. Get really strong. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower.
I can't tell if my hips are even or not either. They're never gonna. Nope.
You have to use your lower stomach more. Bring it down, pedal it out. And then grab your block.
I feel when I do that, I let it go.
Take your block out, engage the block. Get your weight strong. Take the left leg forward, strong on the right leg, left leg forward. Push into the block, push the block a little bit forward. Engage the stomach, engage the shoulders, and then inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower. We're not worrying about how high the left leg comes, just engagement.
Am I supposed to still be able to tell if my hips are even?
Yes, you're still trying to keep your hips even. Push the block forward. Get strong in the torso. Bring it down. Left heel down. Place it down. Pull the heel back towards you. And maybe bring the torso a little bit further forward. So really trying to feel from the heel to the left hip.
I don't feel anything.
You have to pull the foot towards you. Engage the muscles. Pedal it out. If you have a band, grab the band. If not, you're just going to repeat without the band. If you have the band, you're going to wrap it around the right foot. So see if you can still do that same movement. Inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, bring the torso a little bit further forward. So engage stomach, torso. Get really long in the torso. And then pull right leg forward. So we're not worrying about height of the right leg. Push into the band a little more. And then inhale, lift.
Exhale, fall over.
Trying not to move the hips too much. So you gotta really engage to balance and not throw your hips out. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, slowly lean the torso really far forward and bring the right leg past the left all the way towards a warrior three.
My band's not long enough.
Maybe adjusting your hand on your band. Push into the band. Really strong. Long in the leg. Maybe you can come a little further forward. And then bring it down. Switch sides. Place the band around the left foot. Press into the band. Hips even. Really strong. Nice and even in the hips, long in the torso, really long, engage. And then we're gonna inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Whew.
I don't think my hips go even. Okay, there we go.
Bring it up tall, engage, just the grip on your band, and you're gonna slowly bring the left leg past the right. Push, 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 push into the band. Come to warrior three. And then maybe push and get a little longer. So you're pushing into the band so that you're getting long from the ball of your foot to the crown of your head. Nice and strong and engaged. Breathe. See if you could do those leg circles we did yesterday. That would have been easy. Connect with the breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart.
Leg circles are hard.
Bring down to center and pause. Find your breath. This time, inhale up, swan dive it down. Touch the ground. Place the left foot back, right foot forward, low lunge. They go backwards today. Inhale forward, exhale, send the right leg towards straight. Inhale forward, exhale back. Pop the back leg in a little, bend the left knee. Wrap your band. Hopefully you have a nice strong one around the left
A little more about
right foot.
doing stretchy classes more often and less.
Grab the band, pull it up, pull the torso up. So now the right arm should be engaged, the whole torso should be engaged, and surprise, surprise, you should feel the right hip. Torso nice and long and strong. Back leg bend, engaged.
Okay, my arm is already shaking.
Little pulses of the arm. Little bicep curls. Let's do it. Bend the back knee deeply. Plant the left foot down. Maybe still holding onto your block. Start to straighten up the right foot. So you're going to find yourself in a triangle for your legs. Holding on to the bend, pull up. So really strong triangle legs. And then lean forward. So you're pulling your body up. Left arm can come up. Notice how much more difficult the triangle while you're engaged really can be. Bend into that front leg. Let go of your band. And reverse your triangle. Breathe. Bring it down into warrior two. Hold. Reverse your palms to the ceiling. Breathe. Ooh. Pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. Press into the ground. Right foot meets left, high plank. Breathe and hold. And then down dog. Look towards the hands and jump, float, or walk all the way up to meet your hands. Plant your feet, deep bend in the knees. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Center. Find your feet on the ground. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Roll all the way over to outside edges of the feet, and then nice and slow onto the other side. So just feeling the movement of your ankles. Slow and with control. Moving. If you like, you can take your arms out to help counterbalance. Just kind of having an experience with your ankles. Finding movement, telling our body how to reset itself in the movements that we most often fall in. So we never fall going straight forward. It's almost always going in a funny angle. Inhale up, arms overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart, and then this time swan dive it down. Step right foot back, left foot in low lunge. I need to switch sides. Inhale forward, low lunge. Exhale back. Finding movement in your legs. Finding what feels good, having your own internal experience. And then bend underneath the left foot. Bend the back knee. Bring the back foot in a little bit. Then lift up, pull into the band with the left arm. Really pushing the ball of the left foot down and pulling up. You should find the left hip, left shoulder, whole left arm strong, core engaged, get torso long. And then little pulses with the left arm. Feel free to curse and complain. It's all allowed. Pop the back foot in, flatten the back foot. Start to come on all the way up to triangle legs. Engage and find your triangle legs, then really pull up from the band, and then right arm lifts. Pull into the band, torso strong. And then release your band. Jesus. Reverse the triangle. Bend the front knee, warrior two. Flip the palms. Pivot on the back foot. Frame out the front. This time take your hands really wide for your plank. Change your shoulders, change the direction of your fingers. Hold a different plank. Breathe. Longer in the spine. More engaged in the chest and shoulders. And then lower the knees and find a child's to reset. Make your way up to down dog. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and hop or walk all the way up. Deep bend in the knees, inhale, rise all the way up. Prayer to heart with the exhale. You're going to place the block, if you have it, just ahead of your right foot. So that same movement we were doing before. Land on your left foot. Bring your right foot onto the block. Watch your hips. So, right foot comes onto the block. This is what you're often going to see. Right hip is here or left hip is here. Right foot onto the block, hips even. Try and find your hips. Plant the foot on the block, pull it back. So pull the foot without letting the foot move. All the back of the leg engaged. Try and remember a little tiny bend in the knee just so you can not lock into the back of the joint. Torso forward, a little more engaged. Now, remaining engaged, slowly point the toes down. Pull the toes back.
I pushed on the back of my block, it flipped up.
So moving through the muscles of the foot, bring the toes back up, take the toes over to the right, and then all the way back around. Slow movements of the foot. Hold here, or if you would like to try maybe bringing the foot onto a second block. Land it. Really feel like you're pulling that heel back towards the hip. So pull, engage the leg, lean the torso forward. And then toes forward, nice and slow and with control. And then all the way back.
Why does this feel easier?
Right and left. Sink the hips a little lower, bend the left knee a little more. Pull the heel towards the hip, the torso long. Feel the back of the leg.
Yeah, we froze on. Oh no, we didn't.
Bring the torso back. No, we're just not moving. Bring the torso back. Left leg really strong. Find your balance and maybe bring your arms out to counterbalance without pulling the right hip up. See if you can pull the right leg up and hold. Engage. Pull it up more. Hold, hold, hold. Bend the knee. Send it past the left. Warrior three. See if you can have that same feeling. Start to bring your arms forward as if you're engaging the block. Reach longer.
don't know what now.
Bend the knee, return to mountain. Tap it out. What did you say?
I was turning so I was facing my ears so I could see my hips, and then when I did Warrior 3, I was all twisted.
Remove your second block if you had the second block. Move on to the left foot. So get strong in the right leg first. Find your hips, know where they are, get really strong. Left foot goes onto the block. Pull the heel back towards the hip. Bring the torso a little forward. Engage. I like to place my hands on the back of my hips because then it really helps me know, because we never know where our hips are. It's really hard for us to know where they are in space. Sometimes you need to see them. I like to feel them. My hands on the back.
I need a little bit of both.
And then slowly, as you can, toes forward, toes back. Feel the muscles in the foot to make this action happen. Maybe play with spreading the toes. Just have an experience in your foot. Find the muscles in your foot. And then pull the toes back and left to right with the toes. Finding the muscles entirely in the foot. Find some muscles in the ankle. Maybe you're starting to feel some muscles within the hip. And then back to mountain. Find your second block. It's really hot in here today.
So hot.
Land, get strong in your position. Torso forward, nice and long and strong. Then feel like you're pulling the left heel towards the left hip. So really find the back of the leg. And then toes down and toes back. Feel the muscles of the foot. Feel the muscles of the leg. And toes back, bring the toes left and right, nice and slow and engaged. And bring the torso back over the hips. Get really tall. Watch the hips. Lift the left leg. Engage and hold. Lift it higher, lift it higher, lift it higher. Imagine you've got a hold of your big toe and you're pulling it up. Bring your torso tall, tall, tall. Bend the knee. Send it past the left. Imagine you're engaging that block. Push the shoulders forward. Send the leg backwards. Push, push, lengthen. Push through the ball of the foot. Strong and engaged throughout the whole body. And then bend the knee. Bring it back to mountain. Tap it out. Take it left to right. Tap. Loosen. Soften. Clean out your space. Sweep it away. Keeping your blocks handy. Inhale up. Swan dive it down. Step back, high plank.
It's really Shavasana time.
Lower the knee.
I don't know why you said I need my blocks handy. It's Shavasana time.
Sink over to a hip. We're going to come on down to our back. Keep your blocks handy. As much as
It's
Taylor's
Shavasana
protesting, we're going to use the blocks a little bit. So if you don't have the blocks, imagine you do. And just imagine you're squeezing something between your legs. You're going to take the block. You're going to place it just underneath the knee. So not right on the joint, in between the thighs. Find the hips on the ground. Engage the block. So mindful of compensation
I
patterns.
can't reach my block.
Your skull is on the ground. Neck does not need to be working. Shoulders and rib cage push down into the ground. Low back does not need to push into the ground. Push the hips and the rib cage. Engage the core. So you should be entirely strong in the core. Squeeze the block. You really want to be challenged and you have 2 blocks. Place another block between the low legs. Oops, wrong way. Low legs and squeeze. Lift the feet up, squeeze the block. Let the arms be soft, let the face be soft, squeeze the block. Remind yourself of all those points. Push the hips down, push the rib cage down. Core strong and engaged, squeeze. And then lift the feet and lower, slow and controlled. Engage. As soon as you feel that low back, start to do the work. Push the hips more into the ground, push the rib cage more. Find the muscles on the front line. This is a core exercise. What?
I don't know if my core is doing anything.
Bring it back up. Set up nice and strong. We're going to take the feet a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, squeezing the block.
Oh, never mind, it's there.
Try not to move the hips. We're just moving the low legs. Squeeze your blocks. Breathe. All right, bring your knees in. Get rid of the blocks. Rock it side to side. Take knee circles. Whatever feels good. Just a little reset.
Circles, really?
Oh yeah, we need to do some leg circles today, I promise.
I can do circles. I just can't do circles and move the leg at the same time.
Okay, so take the feet up to the ceiling. We have to test this theory.
Oh my god.
Take the feet up to the ceiling. You're going to circle your feet inside, so towards each other. Circle, push the hips down, and then slowly take the feet towards the ground. Let's see if Kaylee can do a core one. Watch the lower back. So as soon as the lower back starts to do the work, stop. Don't bring the feet so low. Engage the core more. Reverse your circles.
Oh god.
And then see if you can bring your feet back up. Watch your compensation patterns.
See, they just end up going left to right.
Soften your face. Soften your shoulders.
Eventually they stop
And
becoming
then bring your
circles.
knees in and reset.
I'm trying to move the leg and circle at the same time. It just ends up being missed.
I don't know why circles bewilder her. Left foot down, knee up, right foot up. And just have an experience with this right leg. Move it around, pull the toes in different directions. Stretchy time. Point and flex the foot, take circles, whatever feels good. Bring the leg down and up or over to the side. You can hold on to it. It's not Shavasana time yet. Switch sides. Left foot up, right foot down, knee up. And just move through left leg. And then bring the left knee down, left foot down, knee up. Take a little side sway of the hips and the knees, letting go. Take the arms, even with the shoulders, palms up. Make sure your feet are kind of nice and planted, your hips are comfortable. We're going to roll over, take the right hand all the way over to the left, and then push past it. Inhale as you open, exhale as you squeeze over, reach past. Really not thinking about being strong and engaged, just kind of rolling and moving through the arm, shoulder, and spinal movements. Let the knees go wherever they go. Inhale, open, exhale as you fold. Feet remain still. You're doing the exact opposite of me.
I know.
Kaylee's just working her hips. She's doing her own thing.
Let's do the opposite. There you go, I did one of yours.
And then open. Doesn't it feel good?
Mine felt good too.
Not if you're long. Put your feet down. Yeah, like that. Let your hips move. Just move through your upper back. Push
Yeah.
pause.
My lower back felt like it needed to be moved through.
Landed. Well, I was getting there. You just beat me to it. Land, get comfortable. Take right knee over left. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Feet come towards opposite shoulders. And breathe.
Oh my god, I'm missing my favorite stretch.
So one of the things you can do in this stretch is push the hips down gently towards the ground. Feel like you're pushing the right hip away from you towards the wall behind you. Little tiny engagement just to really find that piriformis muscle in underneath the glutes. Play with the angle of the feet, engagement of the legs. Have an experience. Soften the muscles. Allow the left foot to come over to the right, nice and slow. Land it here. Then bring left arm back down to the ground. Flex the right foot. Plant the left foot. Find an experience from the armpit to the hip on the left side. And if you need to, you can always balance your right knee. Take a little of the weight off if anything's tweaking in your back. And then bring your legs slowly back to center. Allow the right foot to come all the way to the ground. Let the left foot land where it lands. Try to keep the right shoulder drawing towards the ground. And then you can play with the angle of the legs and knees nice and slow. Try to have an experience from the armpit to the hip on the right side. Slowly bring the knees and hips back through center. Take a little side sway, reset. And then left knee over right. Knees towards chest. And then bring feet towards opposite shoulders. Maybe focusing on sending that left hip away from you towards the wall and a little press of the hips down into the ground. Breathe.
They might not have a wall in that direction.
Let go. Huh?
You said towards the wall. They might not have a wall in that direction.
Okay, well, if you're outside and you have no walls around you, imagine where a wall would be. I'm sure that you can think about that. Slowly soften and allow left foot to come all the way over to the right. Slow as you can. Just let it land. Find the position where you're comfortable, trying to send the left shoulder toward the ground. And just find an experience. Left armpit towards left hip, opening up. Find a position where your legs can be comfortable, your hips, your back, everything's comfortable. Mindful of any pinching sensation in any joints. We don't stretch nerves. If ever you feel pinching, stinging, tingling, back off and reset. Try again in a different shape. Try to have your own internal experience, not trying to copy or replicate Instagram or any else's pose. Just trying to have an experience about how your body feels in any one moment in time. Bring your knees back towards center. And then slowly allow right foot to come all the way to the left. Left knee is going to flop over. Maybe find your hand. Trying to keep right shoulder leaning towards the ground. Sending right shoulder towards the ground. And as you feel that opening across the right rib cage, maybe imagining sending your breath in between each rib, cleansing, opening. Slowly, slowly, slowly unravel. Bring the feet to the ground, knees up. Softly sway the knees and the hips side to side. Resetting, landing on the ground. And Kaylee is finally right. It is resting pose time. Now, resting pose is often traditionally taken in Shavasana, but make your choice about where you want to be today. Take a little internal scan. Maybe you want to keep your feet on the ground and your knees towards each other, softening your low back. Maybe you want to find a chair. Maybe you are ready for full Shavasana today. Maybe you want to take your legs long, opening up and expanding and taking up space. Maybe you want to curl up in a little ball. Make some choices. Have an internal experience. Take away the burden of what should or should not be done. Try to tune in to that little inner voice inside you, the voice of your body. The voice that quietly whispers what it needs. The one that we often tune out. The one that tells you, oh, I have a little tweak here, and we ignore it until it's screaming. That voice. Try to give it an ear and listen. See what your body is ready for, what it needs today. And practice scanning the body from the toes slowly up as if you're checking in with each and every cell, one by one, working the way to the tips of the fingers, crown of the head, tip of the nose. And then scan your breath. Notice what your breath is doing. Notice if you're still gripping or controlling your breath. And tell the breath that it can loosen and soften. No more control. Just letting go. And then soften the thoughts. Imagine softening into the thoughts. So the mind fires, the thoughts come, often entirely random, but they can start a stream. We think of something and then we think of 1,000 other things related to that, or we think of something and it sends us down a familiar pathway in our brain, or we think of something and we judge it. We say, no, I should not do this, I should not do this, I shouldn't be thinking this, or I should be thinking something else. So imagine you could just soften into the thoughts as if it was some museum you were going to visit, filled with art of all kinds of varieties, filled with different personalities and images and times and history. Just a collection of things and images and places and times. Imagine you could sit in the center of this museum and just soften into it, just to see it, experience it. Let it be what it is. Trying not to pick out what you like or dislike, but just trying to see it. Open, soften, expand, and notice. If you have a little more time available to take in your resting clothes, feel free to tune us out and continue. Remain in this space for as long as you need. Perhaps even taking the time to remain in your museum, practicing seeing, observing, and letting it go. Seeing your thoughts and your experiences, your past, your memories, as just what they are. Trying to let go of the judgments and the burdens and the things, the weight that we place on them. And if you need to be finished up in 60 minutes, we're coming up to that time. So begin to bring gentle movements to the fingers and the toes. And then take some gentle movements of the shoulders, just softly, slowly at a time, one at a time, just kind of moving and rolling them around, just feeling and experiencing the shoulders. We did a lot of shoulder work. Just trying to see how they feel, where they're at. Maybe just trying to loosen and soften a little more tension. And then if you're not already in fetal position, slowly bringing a knee at a time in towards the chest and curl up in a ball, whatever side is calling to you. Connecting with this pose and finishing your practice in familiar patterns. So one of the reasons why traumatic memories are so firm in our brain is because they create this pathway in our brain. And that is just like an old worn path in the forest. It's easy for our brain to go down there. So we can do the same thing with things that remind us of more positive things, making familiar pathways for things that make us feel a little more grounded, a little more secure. And we can wear these paths in as much as some of the more traumatic pathways. So try to finish your practice in rituals, and maybe you have your own and you don't wish to do the same as ours. That is fine too. Try to finish in a ritual, coming to a certain pose. connecting to it, grounding back down, preparing to return to present moment in time, the rest of the world, whatever your day holds. And if you're in fetal position, imagine as you come up to a seated position, you're coming up a little more light. You feel a little lighter, perhaps leaving some of the weight of your worries, some of the weight of your fears and judgments, anything you might need to leave on the mat. Imagine coming up a little lighter and bringing your hands to prayer at heart space, connecting your hands. Bring your left and right sides to meet in front of your heart as if accepting yourself as whole and complete, precisely as you are. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks for joining us. And if you're asleep, I'm going to make you do more circles, Kaylee.
I'm not asleep. Alright, let's see if I can still do this.